only had 93.
Ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5, the team in Rochester. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by SFL CEO, Mr. Zach Stanley.
Today has a bit of a fall feel out there.
Yeah?
But it doesn't have me feeling bad. You know, I mean, I know there will be more summer days left. There will be more warm weather days, but I'm getting a little bit of a taste of football season.
I'm waiting. I know there's a pun somewhere in this. Where's the pun? Where's the pun, Zach?
Well,
You got nothing for me today? It's the Dallas
there's
Cowboys.
a little bit of romance in the air.
No. Romo-ance? No, I don't think you got it today. I think, you know what? I think you're lost because Nick Steblenko is not here today. Instead, SFL family member Jason Grincher joins us. Not in the closer role, kind of in a middle reliever role.
No, yeah, I'm here. You guys managed to pull me away from all the mock drafts I've been doing on StarFantasyLeagues.com.
Yeah, that's a nice little thing we got going on right now. Not only do you have season-long fantasy football available where you do your daily drafts, but you can also mock. If you just want to go in there, see how your draft looks from certain positions, you can do it.
We're not kidding. Jason Witten.
Okay, that's not a pun.
That was a rhyme.
Yeah, that's not a pun, though.
Well,
man,
these names are not easy today.
I love that we've made it
Dunbar?
through. Yeah, we made it through half of the NFL. We're doing all 32 teams here on the Star Fantasy League show, and you finally ran out of bad puns. Congratulations.
I would have had a ton for Miles Austin, but
He's gone.
I know.
Well, we did do the Cleveland Browns. You didn't do Miles Austin because he's
Got
like
to be somebody else.
Dez?
I would have had Ware. I would have been able to do Ware.
not on the team.
Dez. What am I going to say with Dez?
Have a Pez?
No, that's not a pun. Do you not understand what a pun is?
I thought we were rhyming.
No. Apparently, Zach he got so off topic. But something I wanted to say is congratulations to the Star Fantasy League show for being the first, the only local Rochester radio show. Shout out to some other show that claimed that they were.
Yeah, I don't know who's trying to pull that crap on us, but they've got no business doing it.
Yeah, there was a press
We've
release.
got Rochester natives on this
There
show.
was exactly. There was a press release that went out yesterday in Rochester that said that a certain show that's starting today that we're not going to name because they have 4 letters and they're jerks. That said they were, yeah, really. They said that they were the first and only local Rochester sports radio show. What are we, chop liver?
They sound like losers.
They do sound like losers. How is it possible that they overlook the one and only sports show in Rochester?
It's like a fantasy sports site claiming that they have more players than they do.
That's true. You know what? Tweet at us. Oh, wow, that's shots fired. Tweet at us at SFL Show if you want to support the Star Fantasy League show, the first show, and we're going to tweet them at the other show saying, you know what? We were here first. We have your listeners. Sorry. You get nothing.
Too bad.
All right, before we get
4-letter.
Yeah, too bad 4-letter, you guys jerks. Your terrible drafting lobby. Go on
So
StarFantasyLeagues.com. See a better draft lobby, right? Better mocks.
That's just a fact.
That is definitely a fact. All right, before we get into the 2014-15 Dallas Cowboys, we're going to talk about a little bit of a sore subject for you, Zach. Your boy, Justin Verlander, going on the DL, having some problems. Got rocked in his last outing in, maybe an inning? Not even.
He pitched a full inning.
He made it through the first inning.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Right.
He didn't go on the DL.
I thought I said he was out on the DL. Oh, he
Not on
didn't.
the DL.
He didn't actually go on the DL.
He's just going to miss one start.
Okay. Let's be honest, Zach. At this point, don't you want him to miss more than one start?
No, because the other options are so completely terrible that there's I'd rather put him out there than Bobby Ray or whatever his name is.
Robbie
Ray? It's not Rob Ray.
It's Robbie Ray, but we can't overlook the fact that
the ex-Sabres player.
Is it Robbie with an IE or a Y?
IE. Do you know who you're starting today, Zach? His name is Buck Farmer.
That guy is going to be a hit. I mean, can you not just feel it when you hear that name, when you see that name in writing, Buck Farmer?
You know what? 2017 Cy Young winner Buck Farmer sounds amazing. Not going to happen in a million years.
Imagine his parents. They must be awesome. They must have the most hardcore accents you can imagine.
And his brother Calf,
Southern drawl.
Is his brother Calf Farmer?
the Farmer family with their son Buck.
And his sister Corn Farmer? Like, what are they doing in this family? I'm really curious.
No, they got, like, Tucker.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. All right, we can't talk about this family for the next 20 minutes because we will go off into tangents. That's what we tend to do. But I do want to talk about this race. Are you scared for Detroit? Do you think with all the arms they have to still be the favorites, right?
Of course I'm scared, but the offense has stalled out. What?
I said, "Oh, you're scared."
Yeah, I am scared. The
smack-talking.
offense has stalled out completely. That's my biggest issue right now. There are Annabelle Sanchez is on the 15 to ADL. Joaquim Soria is on the 15 to ADL. Verlander's taking a start off. But the Royals, somehow I just can't see this happening.
Yeah.
They keep going on streaks. Like they won't stop.
But right now the Royals are in the wild card game if they were to get passed by Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a good chance that even if they don't win this division,
we play them.
That we will see the Royals in the wild card game, which is technically the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We
got a chance.
We got to kill that word. Technically, the playoffs. It's a one-game play-in for the playoffs.
Why is it called the wild card game then?
Because they wanted to add more advertising dollars for that game. I'm sure that's what it was.
It should be a 3-game series.
Of course
Yeah,
it should.
I like
be.
that. That makes more sense.
It's ridiculous, but it's crazy.
Yeah, congratulations to your Oakland A's, Jason, for actually finally ending the streak of Kansas City again. They keep winning.
Thank you. I'm not sure how they do it. The offense finally came through last night.
What, for Oakland?
Yes.
Yeah, you got a lot.
Please beat them
20
again.
hits. We'll try.
we will try our best, boys.
I'm part of the team, and I used we.
Yeah, that's okay. You can do that. We have no problem with that on the show. But all I ask is that when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys now, that nobody uses the word we. Nobody says the term America's team because, let's be honest, it's Jerry's team.
Yeah,
it's not
don't
America.
damage your journalistic integrity by rooting for a team, okay, buddy? Because I don't do it.
I can't wait.
Certainly don't do
I
that.
can't wait until we get press passes for the Bills and they finally cave, and I'm just going to go in there and boo them.
I'm just going to run out and hug them.
In the press box, I'm going to boo the Buffalo Bills.
Who is America's team now?
Green Bay. We talked about it on the show yesterday. It's definitely Green Bay.
I wasn't listening, obviously.
Well, that's what John says. So.
You really think it's not Green? I think it's Green Bay.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other option? I mean, the team that has the best traveling fans is the Steelers. It's for some reason they really do. Any stadium you go to, they have like at least 15% of the crowd.
So this has nothing to do with the fact that you're a Steelers fan.
Okay. Watch the games and then tell me.
Or the fact that they have to travel like 2 feet to get to any neighboring stadiums.
Okay, I'm not talking about those inter-division rival stadiums. I'm talking about when they go to San Diego and there's like 15,000 Steelers fans there.
I think the Cowboys are still America's team.
Stop that.
I'm going to say it.
I hate America then. They have bad choices.
This is
There's Cowboys fans everywhere.
The layman's football fan is a Cowboys
They
fan.
just know
I think.
They remember football from the 90s. They're like, yeah, that team was good in the 90s.
Right,
Yeah,
and then the
right.
guys from like the 70s and the 60s are Packers and Steelers fans.
Yeah, all right. Let's actually start talking about this team because they were just mediocre. They were great on one side of the ball and awful on the other side. They finished exactly 8-8. We talked about it on yesterday's show when we reviewed the Philadelphia Eagles that Vegas basically has this division at a complete toss-up. The Eagles are 9.5 wins, and the bottom of the division I think is Washington is 7.5 wins. So it could go absolutely any way here. It just seems every year in the NFC East, one team completely comes out of nowhere, wins the division. Last year was Philadelphia. The year before was Washington. Could it be Dallas this year?
Well, it's just a bad division. Both the East in both leagues are bad. I'm going to say it. Yes, the AFC East and the NFC East.
They're just bad.
Yeah.
That's your expert opinion. They are bad.
So this has
bad.
This has nothing to do with the fact that they're pretty evenly matched. They're just bad.
I'm not going to lie.
Especially
they're
now
good
with
games.
the additions that they've made.
We see them all the time in like primetime games, which is very annoying. I'm not going to lie.
But not surprising at all, since they're all major markets.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're usually decent games. But, I mean, they're never really great teams in those divisions, besides the Patriots. But in the NFC East...
So we were talking about both Easts
Yeah,
now?
he's still,
analyzing both of the
he wanted to
Easts.
brag in the fact that both Easts are terrible. But we were talking about the NFC East, and I agree. The games are good, but once you get past these rivalries and they get into the playoffs, which of these teams has made noise? Other than the Giants winning twice, but I feel like that was 10 years ago at this point.
And they were a wild card team.
That is true. They did come in, in the 6th, and then somehow won the Super Bowl. Good for them.
No, not a lot of noise. That is correct. but some anticipation. I think there's more anticipation for this division based on the additions that each team has made than there has been in a while.
Yeah, let's talk
Except
about
for maybe Dallas.
Let's talk about the additions for Dallas, because when you say the word addition, that means they actually have to bring somebody in that's going to help the team. And the only thing I noticed is that they improved their line, their offensive line, because Tony Romo is basically a broken down man, and if he gets hit, I think he could be in trouble this season.
I think their offensive line could be one of the best in the league this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They basically kept it together. They drafted Zach Martin in the first round to just basically shore up that guard position.
Yeah, they should be really good shape on the line. Romo should have a lot of time to throw. And with Dunbar coming up, DeMarco Murray coming back healthy, if he can stay healthy, this could be one of the most potent offenses in the league.
I actually think the loss of Miles Austin helps this team because he looked sluggish. He was injured, and he didn't really allow Terrence Williams to get in there right away and play the amount of snaps he needed to. He was clearly developing as the year went on, but every time Miles came back, tried to get a few snaps, and it really hurt the progress of Terrence Williams.
Who's running the third wideout?
Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley.
Nice.
that really that, yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think it's good, though. I think that was a good idea for them. Letting Terrence Williams flourish, and everything out of camp so far has been
great.
He looks like an ideal number 2. Des Bryant looks even better, supposedly. He's in a contract year. He should be in really good shape.
Yeah, he only had 93 catches last year.
Witten is like clockwork. The problem here is not with the offense, not even remotely. This defense already has a major injury in
Sean Lee out for the year.
And, I mean, just tons of holes. There's holes all over the place on that defense. They're going to get torn up.
Well, here's the thing. Last year, their best defensive player, DeMarcus Ware, gone. Second best defensive player, Sean Lee, gone for the season. One of their best in the secondary.
Cornerbacks, yeah.
He's gone. Olander Skandrick's gone for the first 4 games for what was his suspension for? This is the first time I've ever seen this in a release from the NFL. Suspended, parentheses, Molly. It actually said that. That's pretty sad.
He tested positive for Molly.
He tested positive for Molly. He claims that he was on vacation in Mexico with an ex-girlfriend, is what I read. First off, what are you going to Mexico with your ex-girlfriend for? It's a little weird. Second off, he claims she slipped something in his drink and didn't really explain what it was. That's who seriously, who lets a girl just slip something in your drink?
Yeah, especially as a pro
athlete.
As a
pro athlete who is making a very, very large amount of money.
Hey, I would do my best to come up with the best excuse possible if I did something wrong. These guys get really innovative.
I was going to say, where are we going with this? I'm completely...
They get really innovative. I mean, the things that we hear over the years are crazy for what their reasoning is.
That is very true. All right, coming after the break, we are talking more about the 2014-15 Dallas Cowboys and their fantasy outlook, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
We are back, and we are still talking about the 2014-15 Dallas Cowboys. We spent about 7.5 seconds talking about their defense before the break because, let's be honest, that's about all the time that needs to be spent on the defense.
We are on the Twitter.
Thank you for that. We are on the Twitter. I believe it did say that at SFL Show. You should tweet us and tell us about how we were the first local Rochester sports radio show on that.
Yeah, if you've been listening, then you know that this is all a big sham and a lie.
Yeah, you imagine if people are listening to that stupid show for the first time and they hear first local Rochester sports radio show. You'd be like, but I was just listening to one the other day, just yesterday.
Yeah, maybe they should go over to Salem Stadium and see our massive banner up there.
Yeah, where's their banner?
They don't have a banner.
Yeah, they don't have a banner. Go check out our banner. Tweet us at SFL Show with a picture of it. We'll give you something special. Right? Why not?
What are we going to give them?
Who knows? I just like giving things to our listeners because they're loyal. They love StarFantasyLeagues.com. They love the Star Fantasy League show. Let's give them something.
Teddy bear too.
What about them?
We could give them a teddy bear version of
We
him.
could legitimately give them teddy bear too.
We could give them a locket of his hair.
That's really weird. Why are you on the show again? He just creepily says things. He's like his hair.
So that way they always have his DNA.
That is true. All right. That might be a little awkward, but let's be honest. People who are supporters of this Dallas Cowboys team have to be a little awkward because this team is just bizarro. They make absolutely no sense to me. They go out and spend as much money possible on big names without actually worrying about, the makeup of their team. Like, they didn't get anything on defense. They had absolutely no care in the world. They were the worst defense in the NFL, the third worst defense of all time last year.
Whoa. They added Brandon Weeden on offense, though.
I just said defense. He goes, oh, yeah.
Weeden.
Yeah, that's.
I would love to yell at that guy.
That's depressing.
I'd love to heckle him.
All right, let's get into the biggest offseason questions because I mentioned the defense. Can the Cowboys' defense possibly be worse than last year? They gave up 6,645 yards. That's the third most in NFL history. We already mentioned Sean Lee's out for the year. Scandrick decided to go pop some Molly in Mexico. I like that. We should have used that at the beginning of the show.
Molly?
Popping Molly in Mexico. I like it, Orlando. Good job.
Don't do it, John.
No?
Don't do it.
Am I gonna get suspended for 4 days? Hold on. If I go put a
Don't do it.
If I go put a billboard in Dallas that says "Go pop some Molly, Orlando," will I be suspended from the show?
Yes.
For how many days? 2?
Well, only if somebody tells us that it's there, because I don't think anybody will care if that it's in Mexico.
No. Outside Dallas Stadium.
Yeah, if you're doing Dallas Stadium, sure, I'll suspend you.
Thanks, Lebitard. I appreciate it. God, more 4-letter stupidity.
I can't see this defense getting any better. No, I don't know where is the telltale sign that something is going to change here?
Well, here's the thing. Dallas on offense on third down conversions, they were 25th in the NFL last year, so their defense was out there a lot. They were 13th in the NFL in turnovers, so they did generate some turnovers. Even though they gave up a ton of yards, they were out there a lot. They're still
suck.
awful.
They suck.
I'm aware of that, and I'm very excited because the 49ers play them week 1.
Oh, goody.
And that should be quite the event for the 49ers offense and Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, the schedule isn't great either.
No.
There's
this poor NFC East. They all are going to have to play the NFC West.
They get to play Jacksonville. They get to play Tennessee. I guess, maybe you can look at the Giants depending if they get any better. Houston, they play Houston.
I think Houston's going to be improved, though.
Yeah, I think so, too. Otherwise,
this team is it's going to be a struggle to get to 8-8 for this team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm thinking 5 wins, maybe.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so you're way under. Vegas has them at 7.5. So
I think lower than that. They could be one of the worst teams in the NFL.
The Cowboys.
They have a tough schedule.
The Cowboys.
They do. Their schedule. I mean, okay. The offense went.
No way, dude. 5 wins? Absolutely not. I will not. No, I am not taking that. I will take that bet.
You'll take the over on 5 wins.
Yeah, I'll take the over on 6.
Okay, so
which is really bold.
6.
Yeah, your wins.
No, I'm considering taking the over on 7. I got to think it over a little bit.
Over on 7 now.
Yeah.
I don't
think this team can go 7-9
because they're facing the NFC West.
They have to go at Seattle. They play the Saints.
This is it really isn't
at Chicago.
Who's to say that they can't beat Philadelphia in one of those games?
They could beat them in one of those games, but
who's to say they can't beat Washington in one of those games?
They probably will. Okay, that's 2 wins. Congratulations.
Okay, now about the Giants in one of those games?
Yeah, that's 3.
Now how about Houston?
How about Jacksonville, Tennessee, potential. That's 5 wins. Yeah.
5 wins. There you go.
6 wins.
They could beat Arizona.
I like Arizona.
Yeah.
They could beat the Rams. Okay, you
guys
are wrong. You guys are absolutely incorrect.
This is the first.
I'm guaranteeing 7 wins or more for the Dallas Cowboys 2014 right here on Star Fantasy League's show.
There you go. I was like, please throw the show in. All right, so we have to talk about, when we're talking about fantasy, this team is it's run by a certain guy who's been there this is his 12th season now, Tony Romo. Biggest question of the offseason for the offense is, can Tony Romo be the same elite quarterback coming off a second back surgery in 2 years? He may only play a couple snaps in this first preseason game. I'm kind of worried about him from a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, they're supposed to be running the ball a lot more this year, so that's one concern. Also, he's 34, and he's coming off the back surgery.
Second.
I'm not too worried.
Why not? I mean, okay, we did talk about them shoring up the offensive line just so that he's not going to get hit as much. They want to keep him in like a Peyton Manning situation where it's, you get to the quarterback, twice a game maybe?
There's just like a lot of quarterbacks that go through injuries and are able to recover. And their position Obviously, they can get hit, re-injure. Their position isn't nearly as demanding as the other positions, and we've seen how players can come back from injuries, how running backs can come back from injuries. If running backs can come back, a quarterback can come back. Tony Romo will be fine. That is my opinion.
That's just your opinion, though.
Yeah, I'm standing hard with that.
I
think he'll be fine. One of the worst injuries that I've seen, like in terms of damaging somebody's career, was all the things that happened to Carson Palmer's arm, because his arm is a shell of itself from when he came into the league. But he's still a capable quarterback.
Yes, thank you, Ken Wisenhunt. Again, let's keep saying Ken Wisenhunt's name because he just resurrects quarterbacks. That's his thing.
I don't think. We could all speculate that maybe he won't be the same as he was, but what reason do we have to believe that he won't be? I think he'll be fine.
All right, so we need to talk about it from a fantasy perspective because Tony Romo is the 11th quarterback being drafted right now, going in the 9th round, right under 100th overall. If he's your starting quarterback, I'm worried because, like we said, I think there's guys that you can have as a really good backup late, like a Phil Rivers you can get well after the 96th pick. I'd rather go with somebody that's more stable than Romo and then grab one of the guys later, like a Roethlisberger or a Rivers, personally.
I think I've only happened upon Romo like once or twice where I had to make that decision.
But are you happy if you get Tony? Especially look at, again, they're playing one of the worst divisions for fantasy ever. They're playing the NFC West. That's 4 games you have to go against Seattle, St. Louis, Arizona, and San Francisco. Do you really want to look at those weeks as a starting quarterback and go, can't really play him this week?
There's still an excellent chance that in a lot of those games they could get behind and they'll have to throw a lot.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
And that they're going to be in shootouts.
Yes. So I would draft him as my second quarterback. I wouldn't draft him as my first. It'd be nice to have him as like a filler, throw in there when you're playing against one of these, bad defense teams.
If I end up getting in the 10th or 11th round and Tony Romo is the guy that's sitting out there for me, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm not going to say I don't have a capable quarterback. He is capable of putting up a top 6 or 7 season anytime with the tools that are there at his disposal, and he's got more passing backs going into the season that he's had previously. I think he's good to go. And Terrence Williams, Des Bryant, these guys are solid. Jason Witten, old faithful, old reliable. Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
I just think, you look at this offense, and especially you cannot look away from this offensive line. They are so solid, and they are going to afford him so much time to throw the ball. I don't know. I think his potential is much higher than where he's being drafted right now. That's what I believe.
All right,
and unless he gets injured again, I think the floor he's right about at the floor as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback as long as he stays healthy. That's what he's going to be every single year. It's just, is he going to be 10th or is he going to be 5th? It's somewhere in there. It's got to be
potential.
All right, let's talk about his pieces. The biggest piece we have to talk about, obviously, is Des Bryant. He's going at 9th overall, number 3 wide receiver behind Demaryius and Calvin Johnson. Do you think he should be above Demaryius or no? Because I think Des Bryant, you said contract year. I think Tony Romo's going to rely on him a lot more than normal.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him ahead of Demaryius just because I think he's going to get a lot of double coverage, as he usually does. But now, the other option is Terrence Williams. He's probably going to be getting a lot of single coverage. He's still going to catch 90 balls. That's a given, I think. But I wouldn't put him ahead of Thomas.
I wouldn't put him ahead of Thomas in my rankings, but there's not Calvin Johnson, Demaryius Thomas, Des Bryant. As far as I'm concerned, there's not that much separating these 3 guys.
It's maybe 10 fantasy points, 20 points?
They could be very interchangeable this year, I would think.
Yeah, the thing is Thomas is probably going to get a lot more balls his way this year just because Decker's gone.
And Emmanuel Sanders can't catch the ball. I'm going to keep saying this every show.
You can't really go wrong with either one of them. They're pretty much equal, I think.
All right, you solved that pretty easily. All right, what about Terrence Williams? He's going all the way in the 7th round, 35th wide receiver overall. For the reasons you just said, I think double coverage is probably going Des Bryant's way. Terrence Williams, he's going to have the chance to be the second guy. I feel like he could have stats like when Miles Austin was basically in the same position, 4 years ago, when we talked about him having a breakout 1,000-yard year?
There's a lot of potential. I'm surprised that people aren't jumping a little bit higher on him.
So yeah, 7th. I think 7th is great.
I haven't been able to grab him myself because I've been kind of concerned with the guys that I've seen down there and where I'm at my position. But he does have a ton of upside. He showed that even in lower snap percentages last year, that he was capable of putting up big stats on a game-by-game basis. He was more of a touchdown guy early on, but he became more of a reception guy as the year wore on. I think there's a lot of promise there. I mean, he doesn't have any injury problems yet, so that's always nice.
Yeah, yet. That's a great word. Speaking of injury concerns, we have to talk about DeMarco Murray. Do we think he plays the whole year? Or do you think he's worth RB6 drafting right now? RB6, first round. That scares the crap out of me.
He played 14 games last year. That was his career high.
Yeah, I know. It was 10. I think it was 13 the first year, 10 the second, then 14 last year. I mean, they have a capable backup in there in Lance Dunbar, so he's going to get some of the balls thrown his way as well. He can catch out of the backfield.
Yeah, one of the good things about taking DeMarco Murray right now is that his backup, a lot of these guys that you see like Gio Bernard, Jeremy Hill's going early, Ben Tate, Terrence West is going early. But Lance Dunbar is falling a little bit. You should be able to get him as long as you're conscious of what is going on in your draft. You should be able to secure him in the 11th round or something like that, or 12th round.
16th round.
He's going in the 12th round right now, according to ADP. It kind of worries me a little.
Good luck for you getting him in the 16th.
Yeah, he's not going to go in the 16th round. It's just not happening. Any worries about Joseph Rando getting anything? I mean, he had a little bit of time, but both those guys were injured.
Dunbar's the guy.
Yeah.
Dunbar's the guy. It's over.
All right, so basically we're saying if you draft DeMarco Murray, you need to make sure that you also get Lance Dunbar.
Dubner.
All right, makes sense. We're going to talk a little bit more about these Dallas Cowboys, then wrap it up with some baseball talk on the show. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Jonathan, Zach, and Nick, only on The Team.
That is incorrect, Cage Guy. We've been doing this for a while, but you still can't understand that it is Jonathan, Zach, and Jason Gringer here on the Star Fantasy League show. For today, Jason, welcome back.
Thank you.
And tomorrow you're gone. So we were not really talking about long term.
We put the hand on the wrist there.
That is true.
We called him in.
We got our starter / closer Nick Steblenko coming back tomorrow, right? Unless he just gets lost in Canada somewhere.
Just call me Buck Farmer.
No, I'm not. I'm not ever going to call you Buck Farmer. We'll talk about Detroit starter Buck Farmer in a few minutes, but he's not a reliever. What's wrong with you?
He got called up for the game today.
Oh, sure.
Right?
That's okay.
My name is Buck, and I came here to pitch.
That's how I actually hope he sounds like that. That would be probably the.
Have you seen this guy?
No, I haven't.
I can't wait to see him.
Yeah,
He's going to be great. I'm going to be
watch.
glued.
All right, before we get to baseball today for StarFantasies.com for Wednesday, we have to talk about old reliable for the Dallas Cowboys, that Witten guy. You ever heard of him?
Oh, yeah.
Has played in the league for, I believe, 94 years. He's quite old. He seems to not have lost a step. I don't understand it. He never was all that ridiculously breakaway fast. He just always seems to be in the right spot, runs the right route, and it always seems open. I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, you see what happens when a receiver or a tight end is just beloved by their quarterback, because Jason Witten, his hands are so reliable. He knows how to get in the open space. He's a great check down guy and a run up the center of the field guy,
that's
too,
what he does.
at times.
He loves that.
And I just can't see that changing too much. I think we might see a slight regression, but only slight. And I think that where he's getting taken right now, everybody is just scrambling for these upside tight ends and just kind of overlooking Jason Witten.
Yeah, he's all the way in the sixth round.
That is consistently targeted. I mean, it seems like he only has 2 or 3 bad weeks per year. Otherwise, you're good for 4 or 5 catches every game with upside of 8 or 9 or 10.
Yeah, and he's always healthy, pretty much. We never see him injured.
And if he is injured, it's a couple weeks.
Didn't he have an 11-catch game with 2 touchdowns last year? Something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, considering he only had 73 catches on the year, that's pretty bad. If he had 11 in one game.
Did he play all 16?
I believe he did, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I believe he did. I mean, his numbers did come down. He's usually a 100-catch guy, or at least close to 100 catches.
100?
Huh?
100?
He's pretty close. He's
More
a guy
than Dez, huh?
He's a guy that catches quite a lot of balls.
I think he's had that type of number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the past, he
before.
has. Yeah, that's not.
Keep talking. I'm gonna look.
He's gonna look it up for us. The last guy I want to talk about quickly before we move on to baseball is Cole Beasley. He is gonna step into the third receiver spot, the last year's Terrence Williams spot, because this offense is gonna be playing from behind. We assume a lot, probably more passing opportunities for guys like this. Get some open opportunities.
I had another question. How many wins will Jason Garrett cost this team this year?
3, at least.
Okay, so my 5 wins is probably accurate.
Yeah, no,
Based on that?
it's not accurate, but I wouldn't.
I'm surprised Jason Garrett's back.
I mean, unless they're basically just saying this year is another throwaway year.
Jason Witten hasn't missed a start since
1940.
2007 and hasn't missed playing in a game since 2004.
That's
baby.
pretty impressive.
So, yeah, last year 73 catches. The year before 110.
Okay, thanks, Jason. For
79 in 2011 and 94 in both 2010 and 9.
So, like I said, he's around 100 catches. That's pretty much
yeah,
what
we did. Yeah, so we did see a bit of a regression, but he still came up with over 800 yards.
Yeah, he had 851 yards and eight touchdowns. That's the big number.
So that's fantastic, and especially for where he's going. I mean, we're seeing him in some case. What is he averaging?
He's
right
listed
now?
at the late sixth round.
Yeah, but I've seen him in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, which is crazy.
If you still don't have your starting tight end in the 7th or 8th round and Jason Witten's sitting there, it's an absolute gift for you. It really is. He's the most consistent option you're going to have, as opposed to the upside guys who might win you a couple weeks, but they're not going to be consistently winning across the whole season.
Yeah. He'll give you points every week, that's for sure.
Yes, he will, and that's what you need out of the tight end position if you don't get Jimmy Graham.
If you get in a situation where you take Jason Witten and then take an upside guy like Travis Kelce later on in your draft, I think you're in great shape.
And by Travis Kelce upside guy, you meant Ladarius Green upside guy,
Not to
correct?
mention, you can't.
I love Ladarius. I'm sorry. We keep talking. I love Ladarius Green this year.
I just don't think that. I mean, I love his upside as well. I just don't think Gates is going anywhere right now.
I know. That is the problem.
At least for this year.
Hang him up, buddy. It's time to give it to the young guy. No?
Go back to the basketball court.
Please don't bring that up again. Zach's going to talk about Ladarius Green's pre-college basketball career. You going to bring that up again?
Yeah, no, that wasn't right.
Yeah, that wasn't right
but
at
with
all.
Witten, you're going to get a lot of consistency, as we've talked about, and you can't replace the fact that he's a bit of a tight end Iron Man.
Iron Man is an understatement. The man is a staple at the tight end position. Much like Tony Gonzalez, now that he's out of the league, I think that torch has been passed to Jason Witten.
I feel like Witten was in danger of missing a game last year and was able to
he
games.
It was ribs, wasn't it? I think he had a rib injury.
Yeah.
Something like
He's
that.
a man's man.
He is a man's man, and on that note, we need to close out the 2014-15 Dallas Cowboys preview. Tomorrow, it's time for the New York Football Giants. No, it doesn't work. It only works on the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, it's just.
I'm glad I'll not be here for that one.
Really? Not a fan of the New York Gents?
I mean, I'm looking forward to talking about a couple guys. And there were a couple guys that are solid on that team that had a real down year last year just because Eli Manning couldn't throw the ball.
He couldn't throw the ball.
Not only because he didn't play well, but also that offensive line. But we'll talk about it.
And he's in a new rap commercial.
Yeah, don't bring that up, please. All right, so we're going to be breaking down Giants tomorrow, but we have a bunch of minutes left in the show to talk about Major League Baseball for Wednesday on StarFantasy.com. Only 11 games, not a full schedule. They got a weird split going on today. Thanks, Major League Baseball. Bud Selig, you jerk.
I like when the games are on during the day. It seems like that's such an integral part of baseball, you know? I mean, there used to be no night games.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you play 162 games.
There are quite a few.
You got some getaway days. Got to fly to the other coast.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Getaway days.
I like that term quite a bit. I was hoping he was going to say it again, but he didn't. All right, so we got 11 games going on, and for some reason I don't see any pitchers that are extremely expensive today, which is pretty rare. Usually you have at least one or two aces to pick from. The other night I believe it was like 4 or 5. But because of that, our top pitcher of the day, price-wise on StarFantasy.com, is Hisashi Iwakuma at home against Toronto. I mean, we've mentioned a bunch that Toronto's pretty banged up. Their numbers overall for the season clearly don't reflect the team that's on the field right now, even though a couple of the guys are still there. But anybody interested in Iwakuma as the top guy on the board?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Love him.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't have a line on that yet?
What?
A line on that game?
Of course we have a line on that game. You have a line on every game. Come on now.
So what is it?
I don't know. Why you got to ask me? I have it right in front of us. Man, you just never like looking at lines, do you?
I mean, the over-under, you can tell because this over-under of 7 in Seattle, it's where he wants to be. He's at home. And, R.A. Dickey, you got to think he'll be able to come out of here with a win.
Yeah, Dickey's awful on the road. The Blue Jays have just been really in an offensive slump lately. In August, they're 27th in the majors in weighted on-base average at 278, which is pretty bad. They've lost their last 5 games on the road, scoring a combined total of 8 runs. So they're definitely struggling right now.
Yeah, the line is minus 165 for Seattle. That's actually a pretty big number.
That's a nice favorite.
Yeah, especially for such a low over/under. That's a thick favorite.
Yeah, they're expecting a 4-2 game there, probably something like that, right? 5-2.
Yeah.
What do we got Buck Farmer priced at?
No, you're not getting Buck Farmer for Detroit. It's just not happening. That's a game I'm assuming we're going to be stack heavy in.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Two of the top offenses in the league in Detroit and Pittsburgh. Again, this game is in Detroit. That's pretty much where you'd like to be.
Yeah, and you would look for Detroit to get it
I
together.
mean, although let's
against
be 100% honest about talking about it. Vance Worley has been ridiculously solid this season. We've seen his salary rise from the minimum all the way up to around $13,000 now on StarFantasy.com.
Yeah,
That's a
he's
lot.
been good. The Detroit offense has been bad. I mean, they have to turn around one of these games, kind of like Oakland last night. They're just going to bust out for one of these 10-run games. I wouldn't be surprised if it's tonight.
Really? Because I'd like to get a couple guys in there. Vance Worley has been solid, but he's not lights out. And I don't really think he's played against that many good teams either.
No.
That definitely tends to help.
He's due for a
regression period. Yeah, a little bit of that. All right, let's talk about the rest of the guys at the top of this lineup for pitchers on StarFantasy.com because I don't really like a lot of them, except I really like Jordan Zimmerman. I love him.
Yeah.
He's had some really not so nice matchups against the New York Mets, but it's one of those things. He's pitched really well in the last couple months, and I'm overlooking the fact that he's pitched poorly against the New York Mets because they are the New York Mets. This is a team that they just haven't impressed me at all on offense.
No, they're 24th and then weighted on base average against right-handed pitchers. Doug Fister just shut him down last night. I think it will probably happen again. Zimmerman has been throwing quite a few strikeouts. I have here that he struck out less than 5 guys. The last time he did that was June 3rd. So he's been on quite a roll with the 5 strikeouts or more. And, I mean, we love picking against the Mets. So.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's another one I'm going. You got to pitch against certain teams. It's always the Chicago Cubs, and Kyle Loesch actually has the numbers to back it up. I just said don't go against Zimmerman's bad numbers against the New York Mets, but Kyle Loesch, 9.88 fantasy points a game in 2 starts against the Cubs this season. The Cubs they're just hopeless. 28th against righties, 4th highest strikeout percentage in the month of August. They continue to just strike out in droves.
Well, they did shut out the Brewers last night. I do like the Brewers' offense tonight, though, against Wada.
Tsuyoshi Wada. Tsuyoshi
Wada.
Well, I can't say Tanaka-san anymore, so let's say Tsuyoshi-san. Yeah? No?
Sure.
He's bad.
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't want to say that. No, thank you. Not interested in Tsuyoshi Wada.
No, he's got a 5.18 ERA and 3 games started at home this year, and the Brewers lineup has a ton of right-handed bats. I think they probably will have all righties tonight in their lineup. So, and they've got some guys that can mash, obviously. Some big name guys, some big price guys, so it's going to cost you. But you might be able to find the old Ricky Weeks there at minimum price.
Yes, you might be able to. And another team that you can find for fairly cheap. For some reason, St. Louis went out at the deadline and got Justin Masterson for reasons I don't understand, and he's been terrible since coming to the team. I mean, absolutely, like 3 negative games for fantasy. And Miami, they got some inexpensive bats, except for the boom Giancarlo Stanton, who I'm probably going to pick as my batter of the day. Obviously,
he hit the ball far.
Twice.
Yes.
Yeah, he hits the ball far, and Justin Masterson loves to give up home runs. So if you put 2 and 2 together, you have a big night for a stack for the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, it's a good setup for them. The line dictates it. Masterson, a lot of struggles this year. Hasn't really showed many signs of improving.
Approval?
No improving or approval from this guy.
All right, perfect. I'm glad we got
That's
that one.
the combo.
I'm glad we got that one out of the way. And last but not least, Texas is bad. Miles McCollum is even worse. Tampa Bay, you can get some value in there for a stack. And I will also go with the pitcher there, Chris Archer, against this Texas team. They've just been struggling. 12th in strikeout percentage in the month of August, and 21st against righties. I hate that team so much. I'm just all in.
Am I reading a 16.02 ERA in 3 starts?
That is correct.
For
Nicolas.
Mikolas?
No, that is at home.
That's bad.
Oh, at home.
That's
Ooh.
well, it's Texas.
Woof.
All right, coming after the break, we're giving you all of our top plays to make the best lineup on StarFantasy.com for Wednesday, and you'll listen to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
We are back, and we are done with football forever. that's not true at all. We're still breaking
just
down.
Beginning.
I know. Well, that's not true. We're halfway through the NFL.
But we got much more fantasy to talk about throughout the entire season.
Yeah. Of course, but we are doing all 32 teams, breaking down every team in training camp. We're halfway through. We got the New York Giants up tomorrow. But more importantly than that, we have season-long fantasy to go along with daily fantasy at starfantasyleagues.com. That's right, the first daily site. We can actually say first and be, honest about it, unlike certain companies in Rochester.
It's true. The first daily site to launch a season-long platform.
And It's amazing. You got mock drafting, you got full season-long drafting, all in the same tab. All you got to do is click a little button. We're going to give you the biggest bonus offer we've ever had, 100% to $2,000 and an $11 credit for free in your account. That is free 14, FREE14. Put it in when you deposit, all the way up to $2,000.
Play some season long, play some daily. Do it all. Get ready for the season.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you play.
A lot of time to ramp up, a lot of time to join leagues. We got free leagues running every hour where you can win $5. And like you said, mock drafts. I mean, test out your skills. Get ready for your big draft.
Yeah, join us. We're definitely doing some mock drafts. We got some of us in there. SFL Jason, SFL Zach, SFL Jonathan. Join us. Talk some smack if you want. We're playing.
Yeah, if you've only done season-long leagues in the past, now you can maybe try your hand in daily.
That is
football,
true. We got both in one spot. We're going to give you that promo code again at the end of the show. But, Zach, give us your top plays of the day for Baseball Wednesday at StarFantasyLeagues.com.
All right, I'm going with big Josh Donaldson, who is at 9,000 right now, hit 2 homers last night. He's been rocking left-handed pitching, going up against Senor Vargas.
Senor Vargas, I like it.
And then I'm going with Jordan Zimmerman as my pitcher. Yes, a little bit tough against the Mets this year, but he's dominated them historically. He's at 13,400. Love the way the Mets are hitting, which is terrible. And then Ricky Weeks, 5-game hitting streak at 3,500 going up against the Cubs.
Perfect. Jason, continue.
I've got Ian Desmond as my batter of the day. He's really come around the second half of the year. He's already at 20 home runs. He's got a chance to go 20-20 again. 13 stolen bases. Homer in 3 of his past 5, and he's got 2 homers against Cologne in his career. Pitcher of the day, I already said Iwakuma, but I'll throw Jared Weaver out there as well, going against the Phillies.
Jared Weaver, he scares me. He's just meh.
They're the largest favorite team tonight.
They are minus 200 on the board. That's a real number.
Phillies are 29th and weighted on base versus right-hand pitching. Value play today is J.J. Hardy of the Orioles going to go up against Mr. Pine Tar, Pineda.
Yeah, I'm scared of Pineda. His salary's come down since he's been injured all this time, but I still do not want to touch him unless Pine Tar's involved.
Yes.
And I don't think it will. Believe me, I don't think it will be. All right, my batter of the day I mentioned earlier is Giancarlo Stanton against, I can't believe, Justin Masterson. You got traded at the deadline, and St. Louis now sucks. So congratulations for you. I'm pretty much going with this entire fish team. I like the Marlins. Let's have a fish theme here. I'm going to go with, who do I want? Let's go with Salty. How about Salty as a play of the day? He's 4,000. He fits in for catcher, so that works for you. That's a really hard position to get value at usually. And Kyle Loesch, pitching for Milwaukee against the Cubs, averaged almost 10 fantasy points per game in 2 outings against those Cubs. I have no reason to believe he can't do it again tonight.
And a decent shot at a stack game in that Pittsburgh-Detroit game for sure.
Yeah.
Also, Tampa Bay looking like a good stack.
Yeah, I have the Rays as my number 1, but I have to go with the fish. I really think Masterson is
not going to be able to squish the fish.
Yeah, no, not only that, but I think he has the highest percentage chance of giving up multiple home runs tonight because he just loves to give up. I know it is Marlin country. They don't really give up home runs there, but Giancarlo's on the team.
He likes to hit it out there.
That is true. He does. He likes to hit it out. We like to hit it out of the park with our daily fantasy games and now our season-long fantasy games. All you got to do is enter bonus code FREE14. That's free 14, 100% bonus up to $2,000 and an $11 credit into your account. It's incredible.
Get on the site and just start playing because you can. You don't need to deposit. If you want to wait and you want to check out the platform, go to the draft page, see what's going on. You'll see that it's just what you want, and I'm sure you'll want to put some money on the line.
Yeah, I'm excited. Mock drafts are coming. That means season long is just around the corner. Join us at starfantasyleagues.com. And if you are excited for Eli Manning tomorrow, you're listening to the wrong show. Take it easy, guys.